If you don't hear that click, then your washer might have this problem. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Slick Rides Garage. Well, today I'm going to be taking some time to try to diagnose this washer here, a little bit of a non-automotive project. Let me show you what's going on. I'm on the spin cycle here. Now watch what happens when I lift the lid. It still continues to spin. So at any rate, I got this washer. I got this thing for free. I'm going to be using it in my shop here to wash my automotive rags and things like that. So at any rate, I'd like to know why the hood or the lid safety switch has been defeated. And it also has an occasional spin problem. I don't know if that's going to show its ugly head, but for now, the main thing is I want to know why this drum spins when we open up that lid. So at any rate, to get started, we're going to have to remove the control panel head right here. It's actually pretty simple. On both sides of the control head panel, you're going to find these screws right here. Just back them out. You don't have to take them all the way out. Just back them out a little bit. Do that. There's another one on the other side in the same place over here. I've already got those loose. So let me screw back here a little bit. Let's pop this control head off. So once you got the screws loose, you should just be able to push the control head forward like that right there. Notice how it kind of popped up. And then it just tilts out of the way. Ah! There's our answer right there. Looks like somebody has done a lid safety bypass. So I'm going to try to figure out why. So it's just a switch, guys. When you lift the lid, the switch goes open. When you close the lid, the switch goes closed. And so that means if this switch is working, we should have continuity from this terminal to this terminal right here. So let's see what we have here. Okay, well that's interesting. All right, so let's operate the lid a couple of times here. Did I lose connection here? What the heck just happened? I lost my connection on the positive. I'm trying to hold this wire on here with an alligator clip, and that's worthless as flip-flops on a chicken. Look at that. Why the old son of a gun? Get in there. I doubt that this is a switch that's just going in and out with no operation. It's more than likely these fantastic electrical connections here. Okay, so I've got, yeah, so that's interesting that this had continuity at one point, but it doesn't have it now. Let me make sure again here that my connection is good. Okay, there we go. So now that we have that, I'm going to leave that sucker alone. I am not going to touch it again and see what happens. But why in the world did they bypass it? Okay. Well, that's interesting. So it looks like this switch must have a intermittent contact issue. You see this tab right here on the back side? There's another tab here and another tab over here. I'm going to open this switch up and let's just see what it looks like in there. So I can already see how this switch works here, guys. This thing right here must be from the actuator arm. And so when you lift the lid, it must somehow trigger this piece right here as I'm manipulating this thing right here pushes up against the spring, which makes it shorter and closes that switch. And then when we open that, like that, but man, there's a lot of play in that. I don't think there should be that much play. Let's try it with the lid again. By the way, guys, the washing machine is unplugged. Well, at least it is now anyways. Okay, there we go. And it didn't close. Well, if the switch ain't closing, look at that. Yeah, it ain't closing. I think I actually see what's going on here, guys. Look at this. Look at how that switch moves in there like that, guys. Let's try something here. I wonder if I were to take this switch and hold it all the way back here like this, I wonder if it would become consistent. Look at that, sure enough. It's hitting every time. So what it looks like, if the switch has to be all the way in this forward position, okay, well that wasn't snapped on, but it might not have been snapped in at all. It's still moving too much. I think it'll do it again. Let's try it. Yep. Yeah. I think the switch is just moving around a little too much in here like that. So I'm going to pull this switch out right here. We'll take a look at it real quick and see if there's anything we might be able to do with it. Okay, so to pull this switch, I'm going to need to use a 5/16 inch nut driver, and we'll remove the screw for the ground right here. Now, in order to get the switch out, we're going to need to lift the lid, then squeeze on this right here. Squeeze it, and just simply lift it away. And that right there is our switch, guys. And here's the, looks like an actuating arm. It looks like when we push that forward, you can hear the contacts. And they close every single time when I activate it here. See that? That's pretty. So I don't think it's the actuator arm that's bad, because I don't see a bunch of excessive wear right here, plastic missing and stuff like that. So basically what I'm thinking, I'm looking at how this thing is built right here. And so it looks like this has some spring action to it right in here to help to hold the switch back. I'm just kind of wondering if maybe this plastic has just shrunk a little bit. It seems okay. It's not cracked or anything like that. And so, you know what, guys? I think I'm going to try something here. If I put a little bend right here in this plastic, in this corner right here, put a little bend in that, put a little bend in that. In other words, take this one, bend it this way, like that, and then bend this one like that. And that should, maybe that'll give it a little more spring tension to where it'll actually hold this, where it'll hold the switch back into the socket there, and maybe it'll start working again. So the question is, how are we going to do that, guys? I think it's pretty simple, and I've been thinking about it here for just a minute, what I think I'm going to wind up doing. That's part of the reason why I took this ground terminal out of the connector. I'm going to use my lighter. I'm going to heat this up a little bit, and then I'm going to try to bend just like that, and then I'll hold it in place. I'll hold it in place until the plastic cools down, and it should stay there. So let me grab my lighter here, and let's see if we can't See if we can't torch this thing up. You guys see that okay? All right, here we go. Just want to heat it up a little bit. Not trying to set it on fire or nothing here. Now let me see. And there we go. Look at that. It's bending. See that? Look at that. I put a lot of bend in that. That may have done that pushed it back a little bit. Now let me do this turn right here and see if I can pull it forward just a little bit. Just want to heat that up a little bit with a lighter. Just get it warm. And now let me see if it let me pull it forward. Now, if you get too aggressive with this, or you pull too hard and that plastic's not warm enough, you will break it. So this one here doesn't feel like I got it quite warm enough. So let me heat this bad boy up again a little bit here. Now let's see. There we go. There we go. See that? I'm gonna hold this where it's flat with this. I just put a whole bunch of extra room in that now. Okay. See, take a look at that. Here, let's turn it this way so you can like actually see it. See that? I put a lot more bend in that now. I'm going to let this thing cool off all the way here before I try to stick it back in the washer, and then we'll see if that fixes the problem. All right, so let's try to put the switch back in. So I'm going to lift the lid. We'll drop the switch down in here, and then let's just see. Okay, there we go. And it still moves a little bit, but let's just see. But look at that. Here, let me zoom this in. Can you see that contact? It's working every single time now. There's still a little bit of room. Well, actually, oh, I just farted. Wasn't that nice? But actually, you know, you look at this, and I thought at first, you know, that seems like quite a bit of play right there. But it doesn't have that much far to come back. Plus, on top of that, I'm not able to push it forward. So I think this might do the trick. Let's try it again here. Sure enough, guys, it's hitting every single time now. So let me reinstall the ground terminal here. It just has that tab right there, right here on it, and that tab goes down into this slot right here, and that sets the contact where it needs to be. Okay, so I've got my terminal back in place. Let's set our ground wire back in place. Okay, so that's as far as I can go with it. So now, yeah, that thing's hitting every time, and it hits. It's even here. Let me try to show you here real quick. It's hitting even though I don't have the door all the way shut. So here the switch is closed, and you can see the lid is up. Listen to it, and you should be able to hear it. Hear the click, 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 click. That's that contact making contact. So, as that is the case, guys, I think that's going to fix this problem with the switch. Scoot back a little bit here. Oh, let me fart just a little more too. Whew, that felt good. Man, I might have to take a dump after that one. God almighty. Okay, so let's put our cover back on here. Just snap it back into the tabs here. We want to make sure that thing's all the way snapped together. Okay, and so now let's take a look at what kind of fantastic engineering we have going on here. And I see a place here on this jacket here that looks like it's been hot, so it might not even have had a good electrical connection up there where they twisted it together. All right, so I'm going to reconnect these right here, and then we're going to turn the washer on and see what happens. First things first, I'm going to chop these down a little bit shorter. Now I'm going to put them together with these right here. These are 14, 16 gauge heat shrink butt splices. Let me pop one out of the package here. I'm sure you guys have probably seen these at least 100 times. They've only been out since they had square wheels, you know. Here we go. See if I can get that to focus. There we go. And once you have these clamped down here on the inside, once they're clamped down, you just run a lighter over it, heat them up, and you know, and they shrink down to the wire. And on a washer, that's probably a pretty good idea if you happen to get their high moisture, so you can get moisture connection problems. So let's cut this down. Okay, twist them up, and all right. On your crimpers, you're going to have a gauge. It'll tell you what part of the crimper works with what gauge of butt splice. You want to make sure that you use the right crimper that's in the range of whatever butt slice. You absolutely have to be kidding me, man. whatever butt splice you're using. Sometimes I just slay myself. Clamp it halfway into the half of the splice that is going in. We'll just take this bad boy and we will slap his backside right on here. Can you guys see that? Man, I have just done a total crap job of framing up this shot. Hold on a minute, guys. I like these butt splices. They're clear. You can really tell when you're seated all the way up there to the crimp. I like that a lot. I'll squeeze that sucker down. We'll grab another butt slice. What are we approaching? 8 years now of Slick Rides Garage, guys. And I have almost 1,700 subscribers. Now, believe me, I'm not complaining. I appreciate each and every one of you who watch, but I would just think that if I were doing something a little more right, that maybe I'd have more subscribers. The channel might be a little bigger. So you know what? In that spirit, guys, if you don't like something you see on Slick Rides Garage, or there's something you'd like for me to change when I'm doing these videos, don't be afraid to say something. Make them comments. Okay, so that's a 16 gauge, and I'm taking a guess that's probably what this is. Cut all the way around the jacket. Alright, now, come on now. Don't be like that. There we go. Okay. Okay, I don't need very much more. So if you guys look here, you can see I'm probably stripping off around that. I'm taking a guess that's probably around 3/8 of an inch right there. Just enough where it will seat all the way into the bottom of that butt slice, and it won't where the top of the wire will seat all the way into the butt splice, and the jacket will come all the way down to the metal crimp down in there. So let's get our wires oriented here. I'm kind of looking at how they're doing this, and so that's gonna go something like that. Okay, so let's see how I did here. There we go. Boy, that sucker went all the way up in there too. That's nice. Put this about halfway in, and before I pull the trigger here, let's make sure the wires are the right color, and now we'll hammer that bad boy down. Yeah, let's just see it first. Yep, those slides all the way down. I like that a lot. There we go. Whoops. Oh, I clamped the edge of it. I don't like that, so I'll see if I can't improve that a little bit. Doggone it. You have to be careful about these where you put your crimp at, because if you put it right at the end of the terminal, you put that thing right at the end of the terminal, and it'll just crush the end, and if you crush the end, it can actually cut the wires off. So I'm gonna check this one. And there we go. Guess I'm just luckier than a two-peckered dog. Let's heat this bad boy up. And guys, you don't even have to do this with a lighter. You can do this with a heat gun. But just keep on heating it up until it surrounds the entire wire. I can see the jacket melting. Now, take a look at that, guys. Look at how that jacket right there melted into that butt splice. That's one of the reasons I like to use these, because it really fuses them shut. So at any rate, we'll do this other one here, and sure, let's. Here we go. When I stretch that out, that length is probably, I haven't had any part of that frame, of that shot framed, have I? Didn't I just did such a nice job. God, I can only imagine what my bonus check is gonna look like this week. So there it is, guys. So I'm not gonna just rely on these butt splices to isolate the circuit. So I'll probably just take a little bit of electrician's tape. We'll go around those real quick, and then we'll plug it in. Before you go and close everything up, you may want to do one more electrical check, just to make sure. Because if you have to do double work, it's better to do less of it than to make sure it's all double work. And it's hitting every single time. Now look at all these damn flies. Get the hell out of here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take the control panel, and we're just going to flip it back over like this. And then there are these slots here and here. Once you've got it pressed down into the slots, just give it a little love tap right there. Don't hit it hard, because you'll dent that right there. Just to keep this from popping out, I'm going to just start these screws. Once I feel some resistance when I'm turning the screwdriver is when I'll stop. Okay. Alright, so I'll plug it in here, and let's just see what happens. Okay. All right, so she's plugged in. Let's give her a try. All right, guys, so it's spinning. Let's see what happens when I lift the lid. And there we go. Yep. Good deal. Well, guys, there you have it. Got the lid switch working again. So when this washer originally failed, before all of that stuff was bypassed, sometimes you would close the lid and the washer would operate fine. Other times you would close the lid and the washer wouldn't operate. It would only just fill. So when that switch right there isn't working, that's all the washer is going to do. It's just going to fill. That's it. And so at any rate, the symptoms with this washer would have probably been something like fills but won't agitate, pump, or spin. It just fills up and then it just kind of sits there looking at you stupid. So at any rate, she looks like a winner. I did have some trouble with this thing not wanting to spin where the motor was running, but it would not spin. And so I kind of messed with it a little bit yesterday, and when I would take the washer, grab it, and tilt it back like this, and then put it back down, I could get the thing to start spinning again. So I'm kind of betting it needs to work on the clutch too. But for now, you know, I'm just going to try to use it. And if it messes up, well, then I'll just have to deal with it then. But I'm betting I'm probably going to wind up putting a clutch into this washing machine as well. Well, guys, I really hope this video helped you out in case you're having a problem like this. And well, that's going to do it for this time here on Slicker Eyes Garage. Really appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you subscribing. Guys, do me a favor. Go over there, hit that subscription button. Once you've done that, don't forget to hit that notification bell and select notifications of all kinds, guys, for my next content. So, at any rate, and don't forget to share with your friends, and also to give me a thumbs up if this video helped you out. All right, guys, I guess we'll talk to you next time. You all have a good one. Appreciate each and every one of you. Okay, later.